No, I had a good week for personally. For I have a trouble with that
Those words
word.
are a little bit difficult, certainly and unfortunately, but this one is certainly.
Personally, yeah,
Yes. Uh-huh.
yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. Thanks, God. Bueno, my dear people, so we're going to close our week today with class, right? With the only class of this week that we have had. And it's going to be a little bit about technology. Like in general, the topic is technology, but we have talked about this topic many times. So the idea is that we're going to like approach this topic from different perspectives. Ready? Here we're going to have three different questions. Can you see my screen? Sorry, I didn't ask you before. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. So here we're going to have three different questions, and the idea is that we're going to analyze them a little bit, like not only from the answer itself, but from the grammar part per se. Ready? So, Mr. Nicholas, help me to read the first question, my friend.
In your opinion, what is the best invention that has been created?
Exactly. What has been the best or the best invention that has, or what is the best invention that has been created so far? What do you think? What's your opinion?
Well, I think the light in general, the
Mhm.
form that you can use the light, the electricity.
Electricity. Okay, thank you, Nico. What about you, Lau? What do you think?
Nowadays, the best invention that has been created is the social media or social network.
Okay, good.
Is because you can find everything, and 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 you can learn, you can teach, and you can do everything through the
Mhm.
social media.
Okay, very good. Excellent word. Yeah, that's it. Now, in the second case, we have what amazing gadget will be invented? What do you think that something new or something amazing that you think that will be invented in the future? Maybe an app, maybe a new gadget, I don't know, something, for example, I think like one device for boiling eggs will be invented. Of course, that it's already created, that it has been already created, but it's an example, no? So a new device for teleporting will be created, or no say, I don't know. What do you think? What are your expectations about it?
Maybe the communication in holograms. That could be a nice, a very nice invention.
Mhm. Yeah, of course, very good. I mean, we already have video calls. Now, holographic calls can be something close, no? It can be in the near future. Why not? Okay, Nico, very good. And Lau, what do you think, dear?
Yeah, holograms
Really? Do
will
you
be
think so too?
invented.
Yes?
Yeah, holograms, like video holograms, calls,
Hmm. Yeah.
and what else? No, holograms or cars flying. Ah, okay,
Flying
but
cars.
it's a flying cars, but it is not an app. But
Uh,
yeah,
no,
hologram.
but it is a gadget, of course. No, yeah, good, very good.
Yeah,
So,
it is a
also
gadget.
flying
So
cars. Okay, Lau,
flying
thanks.
cars.
It's another possibility. Very good. Wait, my dear Jennifer and Camilo, guys, what new application or new gadget, new device, new transportation way will be invented? Something that you think that will be created in the future.
Hello, teacher. Can you remember me what is the meaning gadget?
Gadget is like a device, like
That,
something, yeah, like how can I say that in Spanish? Like device, but it's a device that is specific for one reason. Like como un dispositivo que te ayuda con algo, ¿no? For example, the gadget of, I don't know, el pen para el Apple Pen, for example, es un gadget. O el Apple Watch es un gadget, or something like that. Algo que, digamos, un dispositivo pequeñito que se adapta con otros para ayudarte con una tarea específica. So anything, or one application, a new application, or a new technology. I don't know, maybe. Any ideas, Camilo?
Teacher, one moment. Let me
Tranquilo.
think.
Relax, don't worry.
Teacher, gadget reminds me to a movie,
Inspector Gadget.
doesn't it? Yeah, yeah,
Of course, that
go
was
go go
called
go gadget. I don't know how
exactly Go Go Gadget. And do you remember
go
that
go gadget. Yes.
he pulls out a lot of different things from his finger and from
Yeah,
his
tools.
exactly
Yeah,
tools, little
yeah.
tools. That is
Okay.
something exactly. That's the main of Gadget. Good. So, Cami, what do you think? Jennifer, any ideas? No?
Um, well, teacher, for me, the new app will be invented. Maybe app where you can compare different prices or cost the applications um, of transportation, maybe Uber, Cabify. They compare
Okay.
the prices for
At the same time.
the same place. Yeah, but no, uh, into in everyone for separate.
Yes, I understand. So that a new application that compares, not comparates, compares the prices of the trip of the same trip at the same time in different applications. No,
Yeah,
like from my university to the house, how much is that in Cabify? How much is that in Uber? Something like that. Yeah.
yeah, teacher, that's it.
Well, good. That's a good option. Why not? Very good. Excellent. Bueno, my dear people, so in this case, the idea, as you can see, is that we're talking about technology. But since we are talking about impersonal technology, we don't know who is the person that is going to come up with a new invention, or who is the person who's going to create that new gadget or that new application. That's why we use it in passive voice, no? So will be invented by somebody. I don't know who, but it will be invented. The same here. In your opinion, what is the best invention that has been created? No, so you said, oh, the social media or electricity. Yeah, the person who created, well, it's not so relevant as the object itself. That's why we use present passive voice, right? And the last question, Mrs. Jennifer, could you please help me to read the question? Just read the question.
Don't you think that that should be regulated?
Very good. So don't you think that technology in general, should be regulated? What do you think? Yes, it should or it shouldn't? Do you think that it's a good idea to regulate the technology or not necessary?
Mm,
Hello.
oh, go
Dale
ahead.
la voz and then Camilo, relax.
No,
Right.
I don't know what is the meaning of regulated, like set settings or something like that. Like,
Yeah, like control, like when we say regulated, it's like, for example, that the social media has certain regulations, like, or the new applications, because at the beginning, when the applications appear or the new websites appear, they do not have certain regulations. For example, I don't know, on X, that it was before Twitter, you can post some content that you cannot post in other social media.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mama, if it
For
doesn't.
example, for babies, no, that I think that it should be regulated. But what do you think? Is it necessary or not?
Yeah. Eh, we must be careful with our kids.
Mhm.
And for Nelly, we have parental control
Exactly.
as well, block people or page, block
Exactly.
content in general.
Very good. Okay, Lau, thanks a lot. Cami, you are going to participate, my friend. Camilo, are you there?
Yes, teacher. Hello.
Yes, hello. So you are going to say something about this question?
Sorry, teacher. Repeat me, please.
Are you going to participate about this question? Don't you think that the technology should be regulated? You activated the
Mm,
microphone before, were
okay.
you?
Okay. Yes. I think that is necessary because it's dangerous that any app can reach to any children, to any person that don't have the age or the years.
Mhm.
For example, how do you say como la mayoría de edad?
When you say majority of age or simply the older people, like the major people? Yes,
Okay,
good. Okay, great.
okay.
Yes, very good.
Majority of age is dangerous for the grow up to them.
Exactly. Okay, very good. Great. Great, guys. So in this case, we're going to manage two different things. First, we're going to give our opinion about what we believe that has been or will be or it's being invented right now. Yes, using a little bit the passive voice. But the most important part here, it's going to be this part. In many of the opinions that you said, for example, Jennifer and Camilo, you said a lot for me. No. So when we use for me, it means that we are giving our point of view, right? So it's basically my opinion. This is my point of view. This is what I believe, right? So today we're going to learn other different ways to express my point of view and not only express but share. So it's only like I'm going to tell you what is my point of view, but at the same time I'm going to ask you what is yours. So you can tell me back what do you think about that topic, right? So guys, let's first start with remembering a little bit of how does the passive voice works, right? So remember that in this case we're talking about technology and the technology is related to many different people, but it is created and it is developed in many different parts of the world at the same time. So there is not like a specific person who is doing something specifically. So in this case, when we use this kind of opinions, or when we talk about this kind of topics which are global, no, this is a topic which is global because technology it's about around all the world and the applications are around all the world. So normally here we use the passive voice. Why? Because it's something that it is not done or it is not made by only one specific person. It is done in general by a lot of people. As for example, Camilo said, most of the people with the majority of age do something, no? Or for example, let's mention the kids, no? So for our kids, okay, so it's like a global population that we can measure, right? So in this case, it's better to start like talking about the object, which is more specific, more concrete. For example, the flying cars that somebody mentioned. For example, the holographic technology that Nico mentioned, right? Or for example, the application, the comparing application that Jennifer mentioned before. It is more specific about that object and not the people who is going to use it or the people who is going to invent it, because in that case, we don't even know who is going to invent it. So remember that we're going to use the passive voice. In this case, well, previously we have seen a lot of different passive voices, right? But today we're going to focus in three: what it's done or what has been done in the past, what is being done in the present, in this moment, and what will be done in the future, right? Remember that the passive voice is basically a combination of the verb to be with the verbs in past participle. This is basically what is the passive voice. And what we have to do is simply conjugate this verb to be. This verb is always going to be in past participle. There is no change. But we have to take care of conjugate this verb in present in different tenses. So, for example, if I'm talking about simple past, electricity, electricity, right? So the electricity, let's say that was perfected, yeah, is not something that is going on now. It is already an action that was finished before. So we use the past, but the past of passive voice. Of course, if I want to talk about La Tesla and other different inventors and Benjamin Franklin and so on, and what is the other guy? Thomas Alva Edison and those things, those guys, I can use active voice. And I say, okay, Nikola Tesla perfected the alternate current in electricity and so on if the focus is the person. But if the focus is the invention itself, that's much better using the passive voice. So I said, okay, it was simple past, it was perfected by, no sé, by many scientists. Yes? So because it was not only one person, it was like a whole bunch of people. But then I said, okay, what did I do here? I simply conjugated the verb to be in past, was, because it was the electricity, it, ready? And then I add the verb in past participle. In this case, the verb was perfected. Yeah? As simple as that. But for example, if it's something that is going on, well, that has been going on like a lot of time, or the applications that they started a long time ago, but they continue to appear, then it would be better to use not only simple past, but present perfect, because it's something that started before, but it still continues to go on, right? So I said, oh, okay, you know what? Many apps, again, I start with the object, yes? Many apps have been invented. Many apps have been invented in the last decade, for example. Yeah. So in this case, okay, same. I am talking about the object first, which is many apps, because the people who did this, well, it can be a lot of different people. Many different people have been created a lot of different apps. So in that case, it's better to start with the object. It's more specific, no? And then what did I do? It's the same. Conjugate the verb to be. Have been, verb to be in present perfect, ¿cierto? Have been, and then the verb in past participle. Have been invented in the last decade, no? So again, it's passive voice, but this time not only simple past, but passive voice of the present perfect, right? No, teacher, but I want to specify that it's something that is going on right now. Ah, okay, good, excellent. So we said that the holographic technology or the holographic calls, yeah, let's say that it's something that is going on right now, are being developed in this moment or in these days or something like that, right? So the holographic calls are being developed in now. Let's use now, right? So here I'm using again the object first, talking about the holographic calls, but here I'm not talking about something that happened before, talking about something that is going on right now. So I use the present continuous, but the present continuous in passive voice. What did I do? Same old. Conjugate the verb to be in present continuous, es decir, are being, es decir, verb to be, y otra vez el to be en infinitivo con ing, o sea, being, yes, and then the verb in past participle. In this case is developed. Are being developed now, right? Entonces, están siendo o está siendo, si es singular, is being developed, o si es plural, are being, and then the verb in past participle, right? But not teacher, but I want to specify something that's going to be happening in the future soon, but I don't know the subject. Okay, so one more time, conjugate the verb to be in future and then the verb in past participle. Example, flying cars. Flying cars will be, conjugation of the to be in future, invented. No sé, really soon, for putting any kind of component, right? So guys, in this case, this topic or these kind of topics, which I don't know the specific subject, it allows me to introduce the passive voice better than the active voice, no? So here we see how the passive voice, it's more specific and it's more clear about what I want to specify, about what I want to emphasize. I want to emphasize the applications that have been invented. I want to emphasize the holographic codes that are being developed now. I want to emphasize the flying cars that will be invented in the future. I want to emphasize the electricity that was perfected by many scientists years ago, right? So this combination, verb to be with the verb in past participle, is key. That is the key, that is the clue for creating good sentences in the passive voice. Ready? How do you feel here? Questions, difficulties, problems, anything at all?
Hello, teacher. Question.
Mhm.
In the other case, many apps, etc. um, I don't see the verb to be, or is replaced with the have been.
The verb to be is here, Cami, because it's verb to
Mm-hmm.
be in past participle.
Okay,
This is the to be.
okay,
Okay.
ok. O sea, es un verbo en cualquier tiempo, ¿sí? O sea, el verbo to be se conjuga a cualquier tiempo.
Exactamente, Cami. Lo que estoy haciendo es coger ese to be y lo pongo en el tiempo que yo quiera mencionar. Si es presente perfecto, el to be es el que me queda en presente perfecto. ¿Y cómo es presente perfecto? Have y el verbo en past participle. Entonces acá tengo have y el to be, que es el verbo que estoy conjugando en past participle. El past participle de be es be. Acá lo coloco en presente continuo. ¿Cómo es presente continuo? To be y, espérame, escribimos por acá. El presente continuo es to be y luego el siguiente verbo en ing, pero acá casualmente este verbo también es el verbo to be. Entonces queda are, que es este to be, y luego be más ing queda being, como estando o siendo, dependiendo del contexto. ¿Ready? Acá va a quedar have been, que es el pasado, el present perfect de verb to be, ¿cierto? Acá pues solamente tengo was o were, dependiendo. Acá will be, porque es will y el infinitivo es be, ¿cierto? O también puedo usar is going to be o are going to be, ¿cierto? Entonces lo que hago es coger ese to be y lo conjugo en el tiempo que yo necesite, ¿right? Entonces va a quedar algo así, being o have been, has been, will be, was, were. Incluso puede ser simplemente en presente simple, is o are, y luego el verb en past participle. Cualquiera de las formas que yo quiera usar o cualquier tiempo que yo quiera usar, simplemente lo que tengo que hacer es conjugar ese to be en el tiempo específico. ¿Mm? ¿Listo, Cami? Yes, more or less.
Yes, teacher.
To my friend, very good. Any other question, Mrs. Jennifer, Mr. Nicolas, Mrs. Laura? Questions about it, the passive voice?
No, teacher,
No,
es que
teacher.
I'm fine, good. Listo. Jenny, problems?
No, teacher.
All good? Alrighty, so we're gonna go over here, over a simple picture with many examples. Wait. Good. So guys, here we're going to have 8 different examples. Select one. Here we are using the active voice, emphasizing on the person or people who is doing the action. But it turns out that the person or the people who is doing here these actions is not clear. It's not really like a specific person. So these sentences could be better if we change them into the passive voice. So select one of these options and change it into the passive voice. Go ahead. Remember that it's important that you change the object to the first part and the subject to the last part, or even eliminate it of the sentence, no problem, right? But it's essential that you change the object and put it at the beginning of the sentence, okay? That's really, really important.
Teacher?
Yep.
Such as many people um, have been using TikTok these days.
That one, when we say many people have been using TikTok.
Mhm.
It's
This.
active voice. Sigue siendo active voice, Cami. Lo que pasa es que acá digamos que está en presente continuo y lo cambiaste a presente perfecto continuo. Digamos
Entonces
que es el
sería
tiempo.
have been used.
Yes. Y en este caso, present continuous. Mira, estamos usando present continuous, pero lo primero que tienes que hacer es cambiar el objeto al inicio de la oración. Eso es vital, primero. Entonces, en
The
este caso,
TikTok.
Okay.
TikTok es el objeto, que es lo que yo quiero enfatizar. Porque cuando digo many people, pues no es claro, ¿no? Como que no me dice quién es many people, o sea que no es relevante. Lo que quiero usar es la aplicación, ¿cierto? Que es como el foco de la oración. Entonces voy a coger ese objeto y lo pongo al frente. Entonces,
Okay.
TikTok. Listo. Ahora sí puedo hacer el cambio que tengo acá. Esto es present continuous, ¿no? Entonces, lo que tengo que hacer para usar present continuous es dejar el verb to be y el siguiente verbo en ing. Entonces, en este caso, ambos son to be. TikTok es singular, sería TikTok is, y luego el is que vendría, mae.
Being.
Used.
Exactly, being, pero este being, ¿cierto? Con ing porque es present continuous.
Mhm.
Entonces, TikTok is being
Used.
Used.
exactly used, que es el verbo real en past participle. Is being used these days. Puedo incluir, claro, by many people, si yo quiero, by many people.
Mm,
Si no, pues como no es realmente relevante, no hay necesidad. Entonces, mira qué diferente. Esta oración no está mal, digamos que es una oración válida. Many people have been using TikTok, pero aquí lo que estás diciendo es que mucha gente ha estado usando TikTok. Es muy similar a esta oración, sigues usando voz activa, normal. Pero si yo quisiera pasarlo a passive voice, lo que tengo que hacer inicialmente es coger el objeto y lo mando al frente, ¿cierto? Entonces acá ya cambio, entonces ya no digo que mucha gente ha estado usando TikTok, sino que TikTok está siendo usado por mucha gente. Es la diferencia que es un poquito al revés, voltear un poquito esa oración, ¿right? ¿Listo, Cami? Yes, más o menos, better.
Yes, teacher. Better.
Excellent, okay, excellent. So guys, what other example did you have? Any other sentence that you have transformed?
I choose the number 6.
Okay, go ahead, Nico.
The diamond was stolen from the museum.
Very good. So number six is someone stole, simple past. Someone stole the diamond from the museum. So I use the object, which is the diamond, ¿cierto? That's the first part. El objeto es la parte más importante en esta oración, así que le doy todo el protagonismo y lo envío al frente. I said, the diamond. Here, it's simple past. Está en pasado simple, así que tengo que combinar verb to be en pasado simple y poner este verbo en past participle. Very good. The diamond was stolen. Past participle. From the museum. From the museum. That's it. Este someone me queda sobrando. Yo sé que fue alguien, pero no sé quién, así que no es relevante. Por eso lo elimino. Muy bien, Nicolás. Thank you so much, my friend. Mrs. Lau, what did you choose?
The second,
Mhm.
the politicians had been producing corruption and poverty with greed, with the greed. I don't know how
In that
the
case, you
greed,
did something similar to this thing that you was. It's also a passive, an active voice, but you said have been producing. So it's also present
the
perfect
same.
continuous. So in this case, what the object are corruption and
Okay.
poverty. That is the object of the sentence. Ready? So first
Mm,
we transport this object to the beginning. Yes. And we said, okay, corruption and poverty. No, digamos solo
have been
corruption.
produced. Okay, yes, have been
Exactly. Have
been producing.
produced. Recuerda que el verbo siempre va a ir en past
Okay, yes, have
participle.
been produced
By.
by the greed of the politicians.
Excellent, that's the one. Toda esa parte de the grade of the politicians, en este caso es el sujeto. Todo este larguero viene siendo el sujeto de la oración. Pero es mucho más relevante el objeto, por eso uso la otra opción. Ready?
La otra
Corruption
opción.
and poverty have been produced by the greed of the politicians. Muy bien. Very good. Listo. And my dear Jennifer.
Teacher, I tried to the last one.
Okay.
And Instagram and TikTok are being wasted by,
Casi, o sea, está
by
bien,
people.
pero mira que el objeto es a lot of time, es todo este larguero, a lot of
Wasted
time on
a lot of.
Instagram and TikTok.
Ah,
Todo este
okay.
larguero es el objeto. Entonces, a lot of time on Instagram and TikTok is
Mm,
being wasted,
mm,
¿cierto? Entonces, bueno, incluso puede ser solamente is wasted porque es presente simple, pero si lo dejas en presente continuo, pues también está bien, ¿cierto? No problem. Pero entonces ten cuidado que el objeto a veces es un larguero súper grande y, digamos, identificar muy bien cuál es el objeto de la oración. ¿Ready? Good.
Teacher, why use is and no are?
Porque en este caso, Jen, estoy hablando es del tiempo, no de las aplicaciones, sino del tiempo que se gasta. Right?
Okay.
This I'm talking about is, I'm talking about time, which is not countable, so I gotta use
No.
are, is. Claro, of
Yeah.
course, if I say Instagram and TikTok are being used by the teenagers. If it's the
Yeah.
applications, yes, are. But in this case, I'm talking about the time. Okay?
Ah, okay. Okay, teacher. Thank you.
No problem. You're welcome. So, guys, in this case, you see that we think that, ah, no, pero passive voice ya lo tengo. Pilas, careful because sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, no? A little bit confusing. So, these kind of sentences, they can be used for talking about something that has been created, something that will be invented in the future, no? Entonces, it's going to be useful. In this case, talking about technology, but not only technology, we can use it for many other topics like for example politics in school or politics in I don't know in or economy or something like that. Example, let's say new regulations about personal presentation. Yes, all of that is the object. All of that, todo ese larguero, right? And then I have to use, for example, new regulations about personal presentation are being implemented in public schools. It's an example, no? In public schools, right? Just for example, the normal sentence it was some coordinators in public schools are implementing new regulations about personal presentation, but that is like kind of confusing. So much better to use the passive voice and go straight to the point. Yes. So do you know what is the expression cut to the cheese? Do you know what is this expression? Cut to the cheese?
Nope.
Like go to the point, straight to the point. Yeah. Like be concrete. Yeah. Like let's cut to the
Similar
cheese.
to ir al grano
Yes,
en
exactly.
español.
That's it. You know,
Sí.
muy delgado. So that's what we want when we use the passive voice. Give the emphasis to the most important part of the sentence. Yes. And say, sí, bueno, no importa quién lo hizo. Doesn't matter. It's not important. Go straight to the point. Cut to the cheese, right? So that's why we use it. Ready? Bueno, guys, so, but also here, we talk about many things that are happening with technology and that a lot of time is being wasted on TikTok and Instagram. And a lot of kids and teenagers are becoming addicted to these applications and they are losing endless hours in front of the cell phone, right? So, as adults that we are, we would like to choose or to share better our perceptions about it, right? So, in this case, we're going to have, well, we already knew the tag questions, which are easy to use, which are only for confirming that the other person thinks the same that me, no? And they go at the end of the sentence. For example, I said, TikTok, TikTok is very useful, but it's also addictive. Comma. What would be the tag question that we have in this case? Do you remember the tag questions? It's the same subject, the same verb, but the opposite form.
Isn't it?
Isn't it? Very good, which is the one that we have here. Lau, ¿cómo sabes que es isn't it?
Because the phrase has is, verb
Exactly.
to be.
Very good. Because the sentence has is, right? In both cases. So it's isn't it, right? But as if, for example, oh, you know what? Teenagers should control themselves. Control themselves. What would be the tag question here?
Shouldn't they?
Very good, of course, shouldn't they, right? So in that case, it's using the same verb. In this case, might be verb to be, or might be the modal verb or the auxiliary, and on the opposite form. If the original sentence is affirmative, the tag question is negative, yes? But for example, if I say adults don't have enough time for applications and stuff. Adults don't have enough time. So, tag question here, what would be that?
Do they?
Excellent, Laura. Very good. Do they? The original sentence was negative, don't. So the tag question, it's the opposite. And with the same auxiliary here, we use don't. Of course, the opposite is do. And the subject gotta be the same, but in pronoun. Adults, of course, is they. Teenagers is they, ¿cierto? TikTok is it. So we see that is the same subject, but in the pronoun, the personal pronoun. Okay? Do you remember? ¿Sí se acuerdan de las tag questions? Sí, of course, I suppose, right?
Yes,
Yes.
teacher. And it is used in movies, in everything.
Yes, it's
Ahorita que he
really,
estado así como viendo películas en inglés, entonces, ¿dónde?
yeah, it's really
Te iba a
popular.
preguntar con somebody and someone and something like that.
¿Con cuál sería
I
el
use do, they,
they?
right? Right, they.
Exacto. Ajá.
Y también con someone.
Sí, cuando tenemos géneros plurales no, sino neutros, perdón, usamos they.
Neutro.
Es decir, si yo digo a person, pero no sé si the person es hombre o mujer, al final puedo usar they porque es un género neutral. No sé si me hago entender. Por ejemplo, I am going
Oh,
to have.
okay. No utilizo
eh,
it.
Yeah, it could be also it, ready? Both are possible. En este caso, ahora se ha popularizado un poquito más el
Mm,
uso de they. For example, a person should control their impulse, yes? So I would say a person must control their impulse. Yeah, I use their porque no sé si esa persona es he or she. No sé si es his impulses or her impulses. So I use their for fitting into both genders. Bueno, into many genders that we have now. Okay? That's another possibility.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks.
So, Nico, Jennifer, ¿se acuerdan de las tag questions? Questions with the tag questions? Difficulties with the tag questions?
No.
Teacher, I didn't remember,
No.
but until now.
Bueno, very good, very. Entonces, my dear Jennifer, cuando haces una tag question, hay tres reglas que hay que seguir. La primera es usar el mismo sujeto. El mismo sujeto, solo que en pronombre. Entonces, aquí, por ejemplo, si yo digo a person, yes, tengo que usar, como dijo Laura, o they o it, porque es un género neutral. No sé si es un hombre o una mujer. Ya cuando sé si es hombre o mujer, pues es mucho más fácil. O si es plural, pues mucho más fácil porque uso they y ya está, right? Entonces, primera regla, usar el mismo pronombre o el mismo sujeto. Dos, usar el mismo tiempo. Es decir, si estoy usando should en la tag question también, si estoy usando is en la tag question también, right? Y tres, usar la forma opuesta de la oración que estoy haciendo. Es decir, si en este caso estoy haciendo una afirmación, la tag question debería ser negativa, right? ¿Cómo podría ser, Jen, la tag question de esta oración? Digo, a person must control their impulses. Tengo el verbo modal must.
Um, I think mustn't they?
Perfecto. Very good. Muy bien, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah.
Entonces, mismo sujeto, mismo tiempo, solo que la forma contraria.
Okay.
Si te sigues esas tres reglas, la tag question nos va a quedar bien. ¿Listo? ¿Ready?
Okay, teacher, it's clear for me. Thank you.
Excellent. Very good. No problem. Listo, my dear. So, the other option that probably we didn't know before, it's making negative questions. Yes, the negative questions are very popular in English and also in Spanish when we say no te parece que o no crees que or whatever. They are negative questions that they are doing exactly the same as the tag question. Is giving my opinion, but at the same time asking the other person if the person agrees with me or not. Then we can have real opinions or like opinions about real situations better and opinions about idealistic situations, right? If it's something about real situations that you think that it can be changed or that should happen in a real way, that way, I can make questions like, for example, isn't it or doesn't it? Yes, when it's something realistic. And of course, I can say, well, in this case, it, but it can change, right? Or for example, I could say, aren't politicians the leaders, worst leaders? No sé, an example, right? So I'm saying, aren't politicians? Yes, it's basically this structure, but not using isn't, because of course it's plural, and changing the subject. But normally I can have these questions in general when I give my opinion about, for example, how do I feel about something? Example, I said, isn't it sad, for example? Isn't it sad when, no sé, when a kid is scammed? What is the meaning of a scam? Do you remember? What is the meaning of a scam?
No,
Dímelo again, sorry.
no,
No, no
I
idea.
have no idea.
Scam, bueno, scam, hasta la primera M es una estafa, right? So scammed is the adjective, estafado, right? So in that case, isn't it sad when a kid is scammed? It's a negative question, but it's a rhetorical question. I just want to know, like, yes or no, do you agree with me or not? It's kind of obvious that you obviously agree with me. So in that case, this kind of question, isn't it sad? Isn't it great? Isn't it dangerous? Isn't it, I don't know, isn't it overwhelming? Overwhelming. What is the meaning of overwhelming? Hmm. Other different word, overwhelming. Hmm. No, abrumador, no, for
No,
example, abrumador. So I said, isn't it overwhelming when you receive a lot of different messages on your birthday, for example? Yes. This I am expressing my opinion with adjectives. Like, what is my opinion about that situation? Isn't it sad? Isn't it great? Isn't it relaxing? Isn't it distressing? Isn't it? It's a very common expression that we have, right? Then, if we talk about doesn't it, yeah, we are not so much talking about characteristics, but other actions. For example, doesn't it sound difficult? For example, doesn't it sound difficult to have three jobs at the same time? Yes. Or I can have other different verb. Doesn't it have many risks to give a cell phone to your child? Ti. So si doesn't it have, no tiene como muchos riesgos. Again, it's a negative question about something real, but in this case, I'm not using adjectives, like in this case with isn't it, that I use great, incredible, blah, blah, blah adjectives, but here I'm using verbs, right? Doesn't it provide a lot of different risk to have a cell phone to a child? Yes. It's like here, I'm not going to use characteristics, but I'm going to use different verbs, okay? Guys, with these two questions about these two questions, or are they clear?
It's clear for me, teacher. Thank you.
Yes, no problem. Great. When we want to talk about, oh, do kind of the same, but about something imaginary or something idealistic, we can use wouldn't it and shouldn't it. Yeah. So it's something that possibly will never change, but I just want to express my idea, right? So I said, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be, I don't know, wouldn't it be better if people compromise with the child? Wouldn't it be better? ¿No sería mejor if, la, la, la? Wouldn't it be happier? Wouldn't the people be happier if, ta, ta, ta? Oh, you puede usar it, and normally I'm going to use it, but I can change the subject too. Example, wouldn't, let's say, wouldn't Outlook be more efficient if da 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 da. See? Then I'm changing the object. And of course, changing the characteristic too. And which shouldn't, it's kind of similar to when we have that. I'm giving a recommendation for something, but with a different action. Shouldn't shouldn't engineers develop flying cars, something like that. Yes. So in that case, it's like this one. It's like no sería mejor o no sería ta ta ta, right? And here I'm using like no debería tal persona hacer tal cosa, right? So todas las cuatro son opciones de preguntas negativas, pero cada una tiene su uso, right? There are different ways to do it, and the important thing is that in all cases, well, here we have the verb to be, here we have doesn't, and then the next one is going to be a verb. Here, wouldn't and shouldn't, they use very infinitive. So it's kind of simple to use. Son realmente sencillas de usar porque no hay que cambiar mucho el verbo. And finally, we have one general question, which is, don't you think? Don't you think it's a general question that can go at the beginning of the sentence, or it can go at the end, similar to a tag question? So I can say, for example, guys, don't you think that it's necessary to regulate the new social media? Or it is necessary to regulate the social media, comma, don't you think? Right? Entonces, all of these options, they are doing the same. Todas estas opciones están haciendo lo mismo, que es confirmar si la otra persona está de acuerdo conmigo o no. If the other person agrees with me or not. That's it, right? So it's expressing my opinion, and at the same time, it's asking, right? Is it not true or not, right? So guys, what do you think? Questions about these negative options, these questions for asking opinions?
No, teacher.
No
Okay.
question. Very good. So I'm going to ask you one question, and then I would like you to just give your opinion, but using one of these expressions, right? So guys, wait a second. What's your opinion about social media? Social media and privacy. What do you think about social media and private? Think on an example, something that probably you want to share. Of course, this can be used also with passive voice with the other ones, no? I would say, for example, if there's somebody asks me my opinion about social media and privacy, I would say that wouldn't it be dangerous if data were being collected?
Teacher,
Yes, Cami?
question, a basic question.
Yeah, don't worry.
Wouldn't can be with the, for example, have been.
What do you mean, Cami? Make an example.
O sea, por ejemplo, es que dije, tú has dicho hubiera sido peligroso. Pues si lo vamos a traducir de forma muy, o sea, muy específica, pues no sé, el it be dangerous, digamos que tal vez al traducirlo no, o
Ah,
sea, no sería tan, no
ya,
sería
ya.
tan así, sí, pero, pero no sé si había alguna regla.
Like this?
Yes.
Wouldn't it have been?
Yes, teacher, is possible.
Ah, claro, of course, porque es el would. Lo que pasa es que yo lo estoy haciendo en presente. Estoy diciendo como no sería peligroso si nuestra información se recolectara, pero esta es la que tú dijiste, no hubiese sido en el pasado. Recuerda
Es
que
que, es que sí, es que ese de hubiera, hubiese, sí me deja como un poquito, siempre me ha tomado como el pelo.
sí,
El
recuerda,
hubiera y el hubiese, creo que en el español es casi
eso
lo
sí,
mismo.
sí, no, eso sí.
Sí.
Aquí lo
Ujú.
usamos con would plus have plus very in past participle, que es simplemente la forma pasada del would, ¿sí? Como cuando lo uso como en el tercer condicional, que si yo hubiera hecho tal cosa, pues habría pasado tal otra, ¿sí? Entonces, en ese caso, ambos es con igual would, have y very in past participle, pero porque estoy hablando del pasado. Pero en este caso, mi opinión era sobre el presente, por eso uso simplemente el wouldn't it be.
Entonces la forma en el español, por decirlo así, sería hubiera estado peligroso.
En este caso,
¿No?
es sería,
Sí,
no sería, porque es en el presente, no sería peligroso. Sí,
ok.
en este
O sea, no
caso,
hubiera sido peligroso.
esa es esta que tú me planteaste acá, con have been.
Exacto.
Ese es el del pasado. Wouldn't it have been dangerous? Pero es una situación en el pasado, como algo que sí sucedió y digo como, oiga, no hubiera sido peligroso que tal cosa hubiera pasado en ese momento. Pero este que estoy planteando acá, Cami, es una situación hipotética, pero en el presente. Entonces digo, oiga, no sería, sería, no fue, no hubiese sido, sino no sería en el momento, en este momento, no sería peligroso si nuestra información, pero es no sería en el presente, ¿vale? Si es no hubiese sido o no hubiera sido, ahí sí es con have y been.
Sí, pero, o sea, sí, o sea, eso lo tengo súper claro,
Ajá.
pero eso o sea, tú al momento de decirlo hubiera sido, no sé por qué siento que siempre es el have been,
Sí, tienes
como,
razón. Por eso,
exacto, pero entonces, es que es por eso, tú dijiste hubiera sido peligroso, entonces cuando vi dije, no sé, mejor lo pregunto.
sí, no, pero digo, en este caso es no sería peligroso, sería.
No, ok,
Ready?
no
¿Vale?
sería.
Si no sería peligroso if that
Ujú.
data were being collected, yes.
Ok, teacher, ok, ok,
Excellent. Very good.
perfecto.
Excellent. Okay, guys. So, well, what do you think? What's your opinion about? Sorry, I erased it. About privacy and social media. What's your opinion? What can you tell me about it?
I have one.
Go loud.
Shouldn't social media to limit usage time?
Okay, that's really important. So, let me just write it down. She said, shouldn't, oh, sorry, shouldn't social media sites limit usage time? Ah, I completely agree with you, my dear.
The Yeah, it's a utopical thought. I don't know how can I say it, but but yes.
Yeah, very good. Of course, it's a. But I think that they are doing it now because I think that on TikTok, when you overpass like 2 hours or something like that, appears like a video that says like, okay, you have to stop using TikTok or something like that. I think there is like kind of tool, but the people can enable, so it's kind of the
Oh,
same thing.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
Bueno, very good. Any other opinions, guys? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think, Mrs. Jennifer, Mr. Nicholas? What do you think, guys? Bueno, Nicolas left. Okay, guys. Well, I think that you're still processing the topic, so good, no problem. Well, so the idea here about this class, I'm sorry, I gotta go to the other class, I'm sorry. But the idea of this class was that you mention the technology from different aspects, not only talking like, okay, yes, the technology is good, the technology is this, the technology is that, but expressing something more complex, no? Expressing my opinion about it, expressing what I think about different stuff, expressing what I think will happen in the future with an undefined subject, and also talk about what has been happening around the technology or what is going on right now, but always emphasizing the technology itself and not the people who do it. Of course, using the passive voice. So those were the two different topics today that were supposed to work. But that's it. Ready? So, guys, next week we are going to have two classes. Okay, two classes we're going to have next week. So see you there. If you have any questions with the activities, let me know. We have 4 weeks more to start to finish this level. So continue like that. Go ahead. I'm checking all the activities that you sent me. So continue like that and see you the next week in the week number 5. Okay. Have a good week, guys.
You too, teacher. Have a nice one.
You too, my dear.
Bye, guys.
Bye
Teacher,
bye. Dime, Jen.
but teacher, for the last sentence,
Ah,
the answer is should eat. Oh
for
no, should.
this one, for the example that
Oh,
Laura did.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course. When you
Should
want
eat
to,
or should they?
it should.
No, should
Ah,
eat.
bueno, perdóname, they should, porque es social media sites. So it's they
Yeah,
should.
they. But is should they? O sea, for the tag question.
Como aquí ya, o sea, digamos que esta es una pregunta negativa, Jen. Entonces, si quisieras usar una tag question, yes, puedo colocar como should they. That's a possibility porque es negativa, ¿cierto? Pero
Yeah.
como es una pregunta en sí misma, la oración es una pregunta en sí misma, digamos que no necesita la tag question. Podríamos colocar como social media should regulate o should limit the time usage. Y ahí sí, shouldn't they. Entonces son como la misma opción. Básicamente estamos haciendo como lo mismo. Esta pregunta negativa hace lo mismo que hace una tag question. Depende cómo tú lo quieras usar. Lo puedes hacer así, con shouldn't, o con la tag question. ¿Listo bien? ¿Ready?
Okay, teacher. Okay. Thank you, thank you.
No problem. You're
No había entendido, pero ya ahora sí mejor.
bueno, bueno. Guys,
Okay.
si tienen preguntas con este temita, me avisan, don't worry. Sé que es un poquito enredado ahí como las expresiones, pero ok, you let me know, okay? Guys, gotta
Okay.
go. So, have a guys
Thank you,
week.
teacher. Bye.
Bye.
You
See you.
too.
Have a
Bye,
good
Thank you,
night.
guys.
teacher.
Bye.
Good night.
You
Good
too.
night.